There's a moment that comes with age, not all at once but slowly, when we look around our homes and ask, how much of what surrounds me is actually bringing me peace? Not just what I use, not just what I've had for decades, but what truly serves me now. In my last video, over 12,000 of you showed up, and more than 600 of you decided to subscribe. That means a lot. But what truly moved me were the comments. Many of you shared stories about papers you couldn't manage, gifts you couldn't part with, memories tucked in boxes, and the sheer weight of it all. And a few of you were honest enough to say, I want to do this, I just don't have the energy anymore. This video is for you. We're not just talking about trash bags or boxes today. This is about something deeper, your mindset. Because before we can let go of a single object, we have to shift something inside. And that starts with understanding what's holding us back and how we can move forward gently. So if this speaks to you, don't scroll past it. Like this video and let me know in the comments, what's one thing you wish you had let go of earlier? Or maybe one thing you're still not ready to give up. Your story might just help someone else find their courage too. Let's begin. 1. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. One of the most important mindset shifts you can make in this stage of life is letting go of the belief that everything has to be perfect before it counts. Many of us were raised in homes where tidiness and order were seen as a reflection of our character. Some of us even carried that into adulthood, setting high standards for how the home should look, how organized everything should be, how smoothly each day should run. But over time, life has a way of shifting those standards, and what once felt achievable can now feel overwhelming. In the comment section of our previous video, one person shared something deeply honest. They said, I once was a neat, organized person. I've lost my organizing skills and really don't give a dang. That comment wasn't lazy or dismissive. It was human. It was the voice of someone who had lived through enough seasons of caregiving, loss, responsibility, exhaustion, and possibly even health challenges to say, I am doing my best. And right now, this is what that looks like. And perhaps you relate to that. Maybe you used to tackle projects with boundless energy, and now just the thought of clearing out one drawer makes you want to lie down. Or maybe your mind wants to declutter, but your body says, not today. That's not failure. That's real life. Another viewer wrote about how every room in their home had become a cluttered mess, not out of laziness, but because life just kept piling on. First, their son brought over boxes. Then their mother passed and her belongings ended up at their house. Then their son's workplace shut down and more items arrived, and all of it landed on one person's shoulders. They said they could now only do about an hour of anything before their back started hurting. And they ended with something powerful. I'm going to have to be brutal in dejunking all of this good stuff. That's what we are really up against here. Not clutter, but emotion, memories, responsibility, pain, and time. So here's a gentle reminder. You do not have to do it all today. You don't even have to do it all this month. You don't need a spotless home. You need a peaceful one. One that makes you feel like you're not carrying the weight of the entire past on your shoulders. Start with one corner, one basket, one drawer. Let your progress be messy. Let it be slow. Let it be real. Because at this stage in life, the goal is not perfection. The goal is ease and peace and breathing a little easier when you walk into your own home. 2. Create a legacy box instead of keeping everything. When it comes to decluttering sentimental items, especially gifts from loved ones or things tied to deep memories, it's never as simple as just toss it. Susan made a comment on our last video. She's struggling with what to do about gifts her daughters gave her with good intentions. She never uses those items, but the guilt of letting them go? That's the real weight. And the fear that someone might find out? That makes it even harder. Here's something you might try. Instead of feeling like you have to keep everything to honor those memories, create a legacy box. This isn't about getting rid of love. It's about preserving it in a way that makes sense for where you are now. A legacy box is a single container, small or medium, where you place the items that truly mean something to you or tell part of your story. The key is, this box has limits. That limitation forces you to ask the deeper questions. Is this item telling a story I want to pass on? Does this still reflect who I am? and what I value? Would I want someone to find this and understand its meaning? Mary Casey shared how she was going through over 40 years of belongings after downsizing from a large house to a manufactured home. She found her children's old schoolwork and created folders for each of them. When she gave them those folders, her kids were touched, not because she kept everything, but because what she chose to keep had meaning. That's the power of intentional curation. Another individual told us about going through boxes and shredding medical and legal records for family members who had long passed, and they mentioned how good it felt to finally move that energy out of their space. Because the truth is, most of us aren't just storing things, we're storing weight. Emotional weight, historical weight, family weight. But letting go doesn't mean you're erasing people or memories. It means you're choosing to protect your peace while still honoring the past. So here's the practical step. Get one box, label it something meaningful like family legacy or my story, and give yourself permission to fill it only with things that genuinely matter. If you have more than fits in the box, ask yourself, could I take a picture of this? Could I write a note about it in a journal? Could I pass it along to someone who would treasure it now, not when I'm gone? Because here's the truth. When we keep everything, we actually keep nothing in focus. But when we choose wisely, we create something future generations can actually connect with. And that honors us more than any dusty shelf ever could. Number 3, accept that not everything needs a new home. And that's okay. Someone in our community said they're surrounded by fabric scraps, stacks of paper, sentimental gifts, and things they just might need someday. And they're not alone. Many of you shared a common fear. What if I throw it away and regret it later? Or what if someone else could have used this? That feeling, the responsibility to rehome, reuse, repurpose, is deeply rooted in kindness and resourcefulness. It's also something that can quietly weigh us down. Let's talk honestly for a moment. The idea that every single item must be passed on or find a perfect new owner before we let it go, that can keep us stuck in a cycle of indecision for years. Here's a gentle shift. What if we acknowledge the love behind the gift, honored the memory, and still let the item go? Not every object needs a second chapter, and not every perfectly good item is meant to be part of your present life. Letting something go, even if it ends up in the trash or donation pile, doesn't mean you've wasted it. It means you're choosing peace in your home, clarity in your space, and energy for the things that truly matter now. And that's not selfish, that's wise. There are practical ways to soften this process too. For sentimental items you're not ready to discard completely, take a photo. Write a small note about why it mattered to you. Then let the physical object go. You keep the memory without the clutter. A woman in our community shared that she created a memory box with a few deeply meaningful items. One small box, that's it. The rest, she released. That single act freed up space in her home and her heart. Another person said, I was trying to find someone to take every item and it kept me stuck. Now I ask, would I pay money to ship this to someone I love? If the answer is no, I donate it or let it go. What a wise way to reframe the decision. The goal here isn't perfection, it's peace. And peace doesn't come from perfectly rehoming every unused bowl, faded sweater, or half-used glue gun. It comes from freeing yourself of the invisible burden those items carry. You've done enough. You've given enough. Now it's time to give yourself something. Room to breathe. Number 4, redesign the way you start. For those feeling mentally overwhelmed, let's be honest, not everyone can just jump up, grab a box, and start sorting. For some of us, especially those dealing with ADHD, depression, burnout, or even long-standing grief, the very idea of starting can feel like standing at the bottom of a mountain with no path up. One person in our community shared this so openly, and it struck a chord. They said, I have ADHD. It affects my mind, switching between tasks constantly and getting sidetracked, as well as complete overwhelm at times, leaving me unable to move forward at all. My home is an expression of my brain. It's my brain clutter spewed out onto my floor, tables, and benches. I've tried so many times to fix all this, but I know it's all up to me. There's so much truth in that. And if you feel this too, like your clutter isn't just stuff, but a mirror of your inner state, I want you to hear this. You're not lazy, broken, or bad at life. You're dealing with a brain that processes and organizes differently. That's all. And there's a way to honor that and still make progress. So here's a gentle mindset shift that might work better for you. Instead of focusing on decluttering, focus on resetting zones. This idea isn't about cleaning your whole house. It's about finding just one surface, one corner, or even one chair that becomes your reset zone. A place where your brain can breathe. Don't worry about the rest of the room for now. You're not trying to fix everything. You're just creating one small spot where your eyes can land without anxiety. Maybe it's your nightstand, maybe a tray on the coffee table. Whatever it is, make that one area peaceful and protect it like sacred ground. Keep it clear. Let it remind you what calm feels like. Another trick that helps neurodivergent minds? Time box decluttering. Set a timer for 5 minutes. That's it. When the buzzer goes off, you stop. If you feel like doing more, great. If not, you've already won. 5 minutes is success. And to make it even easier, try pairing that timer with music you love, a podcast, or even a TV show in the background. Something comforting that keeps you from feeling alone in the task. Remember, momentum comes from motion, not motivation. And for those of us with ADHD or depression, motivation doesn't always show up. So instead of waiting for it, design your environment to invite gentle action. Start with the easiest thing. One surface, one item, 5 minutes. And if it takes a week or a month, that's okay too. Progress is still progress. And if your brain needs a slower rhythm, then honor that rhythm. You don't need a perfect system, you just need one you can return to. 5. What to do when you're ready to declutter, but your partner isn't. One of the hardest parts of decluttering isn't the stuff itself. It's navigating the emotional landscape of a shared home. You might feel the urge to clear out the clutter and create a more peaceful space, but your spouse or partner isn't on board. Maybe they say, "I like it the way it is," or they resist the idea of letting anything go. That can leave you feeling stuck, frustrated, or even resentful. But before it becomes a point of conflict, let's take a deep breath, because you're not alone in this. Someone in our community shared how challenging it was to get their spouse to participate in decluttering, and many others quietly nodded in agreement. It's a delicate dance, especially when both people have different thresholds for stuff and different emotional attachments. Here's the truth. Decluttering doesn't have to be a team sport. You can begin on your own, not to spite your partner, but to lead gently by example. Start by decluttering your own spaces. Your clothing, your side of the closet, your personal desk, even your nightstand. Focus on the areas that are clearly yours and allow those spaces to speak for themselves. When your partner sees the calm, clarity, and ease it brings to your routines, they may become more open over time. The key is to invite, not insist. Instead of saying, "You need to get rid of this," try, "Would you be open to looking through this box together? Maybe there's something we can pass on or donate." If the answer is no, that's okay. Not everything needs to be tackled right away. Also, try to understand what their hesitation is really about. Is it fear of forgetting memories? Is it a worry about waste or guilt over spending? Is it a feeling that their control is being taken away? Many people don't say no because they love the clutter. They say no because something inside them feels uncertain or even unseen. Another gentle strategy? Create a maybe zone. Designate a bin or basket where your partner can place items they're unsure about. There's no pressure to let them go, just a place to park those things for later reflection. Sometimes just removing them from sight brings a sense of relief, and after a few weeks, the decision becomes easier. It's also worth remembering that decluttering is often deeply personal. For some, it feels like letting go of control. For others, it brings up past losses or memories they're not ready to process. Your role isn't to push them through it. It's to honor your own needs while respecting theirs. So yes, you can move forward even if your partner isn't ready. You don't have to wait for them to be on board. You just need to start, kindly, clearly, and patiently. Your home, your peace, your energy, all of that is worth reclaiming even if it begins one drawer at a time. If you've made it this far, thank you. Not just for watching, but for being honest with yourself. Decluttering after 60 isn't just about sorting through objects. It's about sorting through memories, emotions, identities, and sometimes grief. It's okay to feel unsure. It's okay to move slowly, and it's more than okay to need encouragement. In my last video, someone in our community, I believe it was Rebecca Smithwick, shared how she was finally able to begin after watching. She didn't rush. She didn't do it all in one day, but she started. And that's what matters most. Whether you're like Diane Rogers, facing the challenge of sentimental gifts, or like Susan, feeling emotionally drained but still wanting peace, or maybe you're Marilyn Webster, quietly doing your best, one paper pile at a time, know that you're part of something bigger. You're part of a community that gets it, that sees you. That's walking this path too, at your own pace. There is no perfect way to do this. No strict timeline. No one-size-fits-all system. But there is progress. There is freedom. And there is a lighter, more peaceful life waiting. One drawer, one corner, one deep breath at a time. And if this spoke to you, don't scroll past. Like this video. Share it with someone who might need a little nudge. And tell me in the comments, what part of your home or life are you gently working through right now? I read every word. Your story matters. Until next time, be kind to yourself. And remember, it's never too late to make room for what truly matters.